Monday afternoon to you. You're watching the Fixed Wing Guide channel. My name's Stuart Lomas. Hope I find you well on this glorious April day. What I want to talk about here is a little bit of something that struck me as strange. I watched Andy's video this morning on the Wristwatch channel regarding, he was talking about the community that kind of comes together in our little club, I guess, talking about watches and that kind of thing, and how it's all come together and how we all talk to each other and reply to each other and that kind of thing. And it just struck me as strange because I was thinking exactly the same thing yesterday, and I'm discussing this with my partner, and the point I was mulling over myself was, given that the internet is such a massive thing, and I know we're not talking about things like a tangible thing, but I hope you get where I'm coming from. And it's worldwide, and there's billions of pieces of information out there and billions of people accessing the internet and all that kind of thing. And I was thinking about YouTube and the effect that it's had on me. The only social media I use other than YouTube is Twitter. Now, it has amazed me on Twitter that after a couple of comments I started to get followers on Twitter, which I found stunning. I can kind of understand that the people, celebrities for instance, get multiple thousands of followers, and I understand why people would be fascinated with what a celebrity is doing. As Bill Bailey, the comedian here in the UK, says, he tweets, might have a Jaffa cake in a minute, that kind of thing. But for somebody who's basically a nobody like me, why would my opinions that I voice on Twitter be of any interest to anybody? I don't have a massive amount of followers, but I have 34 more than I thought I'd ever have. I just thought I would put my thoughts out there in 140 characters and they'd disappear into the wind. And then, a month or so ago when I started on YouTube, I thought, well, having watched Andy and of course our friend Archie and Don and Simon and Matt and so on and so forth, I thought, well, quite interesting that to actually put my views out there for people to see, and I'm quite ready to accept any flack that comes my way, or indeed, as has turned out, people who agree with what I say and also make nice comments about my videos, etc., all of which comes as an amazing, surprising and wonderful feeling for me. But the point I want to make is, what we have here, and I'm kind of echoing Andy. If you've not seen his video, it was his first one this morning, I think. He did two today. I think one talking about Simon Crane and his reverso. And Simon, I'm going to do a video for you about your reverso, and perhaps what I would recommend if you don't go down that route. And the second one was about this little collection of watch nutcases as we are, and where I stand on this, I am stunned that something so big as the internet can feel so small and so personal and so much of a friendly place where people of a like mind get together and talk about what is, for a lot of us, an obsession and a passion, and for others of us who want to be very specific in their likes and dislikes, it's somewhere where they can put their views forward. It's also somewhere where we can go for help and advice if we're a little bit lost in this whole melee of different brands. Should I go the Rolex way, the Omega way, the Tissot way, the Tag Heuer way, the Breitling way, the Patek way, well, whatever, you know. I mean, we can go out there, and then there are people in our little circle who are willing to give us help and advice and points of view from their experience of owning those watches. And I'm quite stunned and taken aback by that something that is so big as YouTube can feel so small and friendly and close and welcoming and as assisting and as affirming as YouTube certainly feels to me. It is a wonderful, affirming feeling for me that so many of you have chosen to subscribe to this complete brand of nonsense. I find that delightful, I find that touching, I find it affirming that there are people out there who have similar views to myself, similar beliefs about the different kinds of watches, that we shouldn't all be tightly packed into saying this thing is right and this is the thing that you should be going for, that we can gain excitement and experience from lots and lots of other people out there. And it just seems strange to me that there seemed to be this syncope between what Andy was saying this morning and what I was feeling yesterday. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I'm sure that all the people and all the different kinds of channels, you know, you hear about gamers who've got 35 million subscribers and things like that, and I'm sure there are, like, you know, cooking channels out there and book review channels and all that kind of, any kind of channel, you know, or car maintenance channels. All of them will also have their own little microcosm of community. So I guess that's where I am. It's to voice my amazement that something so big and something so huge and something which is what seems to be an endless library of information can feel a very important little community. You know, I know I've only got 78 subscribers, but it's 78 more than I ever thought. I was blown away when I got one. I was blown away when I got one, because I didn't think I would get any. But you know, I get messages from Bob in Brisbane, and you know, I can't. I'm sorry. I do apologise. You told me yesterday that you bought a watch from a dealer in New Jersey, and you're getting all these people from around the world that you're never going to meet in real life, and all of a sudden you're in contact, and you're in contact regarding a subject that pulls us all together, which in our case is watches, timekeeping, timepieces, horology, which is a favourite phrase that's flirting around at the moment, our annoyance of watch snobbery, or our embracing of watch snobbery, or whatever it is, you know. And that'll be the same for everybody else, you know, the cake making and the bakers and the knitters and all that kind. It will be the same for them. So what we've got with YouTube, as far as I can see, is lots and lots of little tiny communities, or relatively tiny communities, all built into this massive framework, which blows my mind, you know. And I think it's wonderful, and that's what this video is trying to say, which is a big unexpected thank you to everybody who's out there, who enjoys this nonsense, and thank you for all the lovely messages. But it is a greater thrill for me to see messages coming in from everywhere. You know, we got Guido in Amsterdam, and you know, I've got lots of people who message me in the UK. Of course, you know. But knowing that I make this now, which is nearly 10 to 4 in the afternoon here in Manchester in the UK, and I know full well in 30 seconds, as I've mentioned, Bob in Brisbane could be watching it. So it is a wonderful place, and this community that as Andy quite rightly says, is such a special thing that all of us who make these videos have our own individual styles, but we're all barking on the same tree, as it were. We all have our different views because we're all different people, and that's great, but we're all doing it for one reason, and that one reason is we all love these. That's what we love, and it brings us all together, whether we agree or whether we disagree. It brings us all together for that one thing, and we can always get help and advice, and I think that's fantastic. So no matter where you are, you know, if you are below the equator, if you're in the Arctic, if you're across the pond in America, if you're in Ireland, or wherever you are, it's great to hear from you, and it's a fantastic thing to be able to hear from you. Just as a passing thought, you know, when I was young, I didn't think we got a home phone until I was about 8 or 9, I think. So it'd be, 68, 69, something like that. And you couldn't afford to make any more than local phone calls. Or if you had a good friend who was a neighbour, you could have what was called a trunk line, where you shared the line, and they could only make calls when you weren't making calls, and obviously you could make calls when they weren't making calls, and you shared the cost of that line. But even then, if you had relatives in Australia or America or somewhere, you couldn't afford to contact them. But with this, within seconds of this publishing, anybody from anywhere can say to me, "Stuart, you're talking absolute crap, mate," and it blows me away. So I'll wind this up now. Andy, great video this morning, mate. I loved it intensely, and it echoed very nicely what was going around in my head yesterday. So I thought that I would say that over the last 24 hours, our brains have obviously been in sync somewhere along the line. Again, as always, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you have any further comments on what I've said today, whether you think it's nonsense or whether you think I'm right, drop me a note down below. It'd be lovely to hear from you. And as usual, if there's anything that you want me to put my slant on, down below. If there's anything you want as far as watch information is concerned, remember, I'm not an expert. Just like you, I enjoy watches, I love wearing watches, and I will put my personal spin on anything that you might ask. Don't forget to subscribe. Things are happening which are amazing for me. I will make another video later. I'm going to do one for Simon regarding what Johnny Casual called Reverso Gate. Why has everything got a gate on the end these days? Which is great, I like it. So I will have a mill over what I might recommend for Simon if he doesn't go down the route of his Jaeger LeCoultre. So Simon, that'll be coming possibly either later today, which I think it will be, or possibly tomorrow. So for now, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.